I'd like to call the meeting to order and stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Amendments to the agenda.
No, sir, none for me tonight.
Approval of the minutes from January 20th. I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the January 20th minutes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye. I'll abstain.
Department head reports. Looks like it's you, Joe.
Yeah, man. Okay, we'll start with the PD. I got a little bit from everybody, it looks like, but we'll start with the police department. From the chief's report, he has four arrests in the last 2 weeks, 7 total for 2026. 63 traffic violations, traffic or municipal violations. He's written 25 written warnings, 2 parking violations, 5 car crashes, 7 so far in 2026. No overweight permits yet this year, and 12 sets of civilian fingerprints have been done in the last 2 weeks, 21 total for the year. From my office, it's a little bit of everything. The rec, talk about concerts in the park quickly. So over the last 2 years, it's been kind of tough for us to get volunteers. So the rec director reached out to the food truck, who will come in. They'll provide hot dogs and hamburgers and just food for the event, and they're going to give us 10% of their revenue. So that's going to bring in revenue for us, and now it really takes that burden off our volunteers. So that's a win-win, we think, for everybody. Reappraisal began on the 27th. The listers have done a nice job getting that process moving. They set the company up here in the conference room. They've given them everything they need. The company has access to what they need on the computer, so that process is moving forward. Again, they've done a nice job getting that moving quickly. I've scheduled Project WorkSafe. This is something I do kind of periodically for our different locations to make sure that we're up to code for whatever they can find for OSHA. So Project WorkSafe is coming in. They'll be up at the Newtown Garage on March 5th just to take a look around. That was a federal facility, so it was in good shape, but it doesn't hurt to keep us on our toes. I got a hold of PEG TV today. We're going to schedule a candidates night for Saturday the 14th at the library. I still have to confirm that with the library. I just heard from PEG TV, so that's the plan right now, Saturday the 14th at 2 p.m.
For what?
Is that a Saturday?
That's a Saturday.
On Valentine's Day.
Oh, it is Valentine's Day.
It is Valentine's Day.
Bring your date. It'll be lovely.
Is it to meet the
Meet the candidates.
meet the candidates?
Excuse me, but when you say the library, are you talking about the public library or the library at the grade school?
Fairhaven Free Library.
Just making sure.
They've hosted us the last, 3 or 4 years since
It
we've been
sounds like you.
It doesn't require us to figure this out now. That date I may not be available, unfortunately.
Are you also unavailable?
I'll be here. I still have to want a date.
Okay.
Watch that live, didn't I?
Something that we've been waiting for a few weeks. That 1.34 million did show up in our bank account, so finally. And the installation in the attic from the MERP program. That gentleman, he's been here for the last 2 days. I think he's about done. So we put 15 inches of insulation in the attic to keep that heat in. So we fixed the hole in the ceiling on the second floor, got that painted, got it insulated, so we should be looking pretty good.
Good.
What I want to do, it seems to be a recurring theme, but I want to thank our fire department for all they've done these last couple of days. They have just been going straight out. We had a bad fire over on West Street. We had the plywood factory right next door here in Whitehall that went up, and our guys are there. they're on scene, they're taking care of the situation, and they're being very professional about it. We can't thank them enough. This one on West Street, I also want to recognize the police department and the water department. The town staff came together, fire department put out the fire, the water department made sure that the water was off the next day, and the police were able to contact next of kin to make sure this, the gentleman was being taken care of. So, nice job, seamless transition on that emergency. So thank you guys for that. That's what I got.
Questions for Joe about any of those?
What day did you say WorkSafe would be taking place? Did you?
That is March 5th. I think it's a Thursday. It is a Thursday.
And was that an all-day affair, or is there a set number of hours where that takes place?
They might take it's a big facility, might take 4 to 6 hours.
Okay. If we were inclined to pay a visit during that time?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're interested.
If nothing else, we're gonna move on to old business, and it looks like there was none. So moving on to new business. Appointment to the zoning board of abatement.
Adjustment.
Assessment? Oh, wait, a minute. No,
Zoning board of adjustment.
that was my misspeaking. Zoning board of assessment,
Adjustment.
adjustment. It's just ZBA, so I'm just,
Yeah, just go with that.
I'm looking at the chairs. Okay, do I have, it looks like we have Greg Park, who is volunteered to be appointed as an alternate to the zoning board of adjustment.
Yes.
We're looking for a motion. Do I have someone who wants to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Greg Park as the alternate to the zoning board of adjustment to fill the remainder of the term to expire March 2027.
Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Seconded by Sam. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. New business, item, item B, housing RFP. Request for proposal. Hopefully I've got that one right. Joe, I'm gonna let you talk us into setting that up.
All right, so this is an RFP for a site study for the design of, I call it the Hampton Housing Project, because the Hamptons donated the land, and I needed a name, so that's what we went with, what I went with. This is we're requesting proposals from engineers to help give us 3 designs for that property, with the idea of maximizing the space for housing. Something I did put in there was half-acre lots for these units. But all of this, it's up to the board how you guys want to see this lot developed. It's not Joe's lot to develop, it's the town's. So anything you see in this that you would like to tweak or change or adjust, it's up to you.
And you're looking for input from the board?
I'm looking for board input.
Okay.
So one thing that I feel would be helpful to discuss, responses to this RFP. There is no obligation that we compensate anyone who submits a proposal at the point that they are submitting a proposal. That was one thing that I think there's a little bit of confusion about how this process works from folks who've reached out to me on Facebook, and I wanted to clear that up on the record. Proposal is that alone. It's yeah.
I didn't follow that.
So when we get replies to this RFP, we're not paying anyone for those proposals.
Okay.
They're submitting them of their own accord.
Yes.
Joe, could you just kind of do an overview of the project? Because I really don't have, there were several board meetings that I missed, and I think this was discussed during those. So I'm sorry, but I'm ignorant on the topic. Could you please?
Sure. So the Reed and Vanessa Hampton donated what a lot of us know as the old racetrack out at the end of Academy. It also borders Prospect. I think the official address is 0 Prospect. So if you hear me say Prospect Street, that's what I'm talking about. They donated that land specifically for housing because they understand there is a dearth of housing in the state and very specifically in our region. The market has kind of failed us here, where the cost to build is so much higher than it is to actually be able to buy a home. So again, they thought it was a great project, and they generously gave us this property. The idea behind this is, as far as I know it so far, and I think the board supports this, is to get middle income housing. So our first time home buyers who maybe they need a bedroom or two, a bathroom or two, some folks that want to downsize from some of these large homes we have here in town, but they want to stay local, maybe 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and then family homes, 3 beds, 3 baths, whatever. Something a family can move into, maybe start small and graduate up higher. What I want to make clear is what this project is not, Lillian, is Section 8 housing or low-income housing. So there's been rumors spread rampantly that this is Section 8 housing and low-income housing. It is decidedly not that. And I'll say it again, it is not Section 8 housing, and it is not low-income housing.
Okay. Also, just let me give my 2 cents of what I think it also, you hear the word affordable housing quite a bit. And affordable housing could be a $300,000 home, and it could be a $250,000 home, but it could be, when you look at this request for proposal, I think we left it broad enough to say it could be individual homes, it could be a combination of multiple apartments in one and single homes. We just, at this stage, we're looking to go out and say, what can fit in, what's needed. There's more we don't know what we need to do this than we do know. When I do the math, and Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but 24 acres of land, and you said about a half acre apiece, and then so I do the math. I go, okay, so it looks like about 48 houses. That's huge. That's a lot of housing. So it's probably I don't want anyone to think Glenn Trevor says there's going to be 48 houses out there. No, it's just to get an idea of what you can do with that land. That's all I'm trying to throw out. And what we know, if people are looking for in a lot of information right now, the whole idea of this request for proposals to get someone out to design and tell us what it could be, get us an idea of the costs and everything, so that it's possible for us to then go ask people who may want to build or bid for those. That's just to get an idea of what that process is. There's multiple things out there. You'll hear, this thing isn't something that's going to happen this summer. Heck, you're lucky if probably timing-wise, did you want to?
Well, we were hoping to get responses back, I think I said March of this year, and then have the proposal design done by November, which then if we need to move forward to next March, say if we need to get a bond vote out to get the project going, so that way we can get that CHIP funding. So next summer at the very earliest.
Okay, now John, I did see your hands. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is John Belowitz. My question is, once this is all developed and all these buildings are up and all the lovely parking is in and all the green grass is growing, who's going to maintain that?
It'll be
Is the
individual.
DVW going to be maintaining that? Is the DVW going to be plowing that in the winter because it's on old land? Who's going to be maintaining that?
It's our understanding of, it'll be individual homeowners.
We do not know what this
It's-
housing
it's
will
in-
look like.
right.
now,
It is
I mean,
very.
the free parking that you guys are having
this is
difficulty
the-
getting
this is
left
the-
plowed out, so
this
let's not
is-
add any more.
this
It's-
is the reason to have this designed by
I'm
someone.
raising questions now
Oh,
before
no,
we get
it's
into
a, and it's one of those where, what I've seen, some things done in town in the past, I think of this away and that away. People went in, they built houses down through there, and then I think they gave the road to the town, and the town does plow this away and that away. But we've done it both ways. You can go out off Washington and you've got what's the road that, Mike Doran lives on? Come on here. Lewis Lane?
Yeah.
That one there is not one that the town maintains. So,
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm also saying is plowing streets is a heck of a lot easier than trying to plow a parking lot with spaces.
that's great.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Cost over anything, is it worth long run?
I think Glenn made a very good point earlier, and I'd like to reiterate it and kind of underline it, which is we don't know yet what this housing will look like. So with respect to whether there would be parking lots or not, we don't know. To whether it would be single family homes or apartment buildings, we don't know. The purpose of the RFP is to ascertain what our options are and what is financially possible, what the market will bear, what is cost effective to develop and build, who, if anyone, is interested in developing this land at all, because there's always the possibility, and let's hope this isn't the case, that we publish this RFP and nobody
wants
applies. We hope that's not the case. We'd like to have 100 proposals come in with all different types of options for different styles of housing, single family homes and apartments and mixed spaces and everything in between, so we can evaluate all of the different options before us. But right now we don't know anything. Right now all we have is a piece of land that we want to develop housing on. That's it.
Lillian in the back is next.
For the record, I'd like to say that when Mr. Gunter mentioned my name and said or alluded that I had said that it was Section 8 housing, that is incorrect, that's a falsehood.
I never said that.
Okay, yep.
But I think to your point, Lillian, concerns about the possibility of Section 8 housing have been raised by others. They've been raised to me by individuals in the community. I have not heard a single suggestion that this project should be low income, or what I would prefer to call affordable housing, because that is the space that I work in.
I'll second that. I haven't heard anything like that
It has
either.
not been discussed.
No.
My personal feeling is I would like that to be one option on the table, but it has not been a topic of discussion.
I don't know, but the only thing that I was saying is my name was mentioned, and why my name was mentioned in the same sentence as Section 8 housing by Mr. Gunter, that is a falsehood, for the record.
Okay. Rose, you had a...
I'm just trying to understand. So the Hamptons have given this land to the town,
Yes.
and we're gonna have, the idea is to have a developer come and make a neighborhood. What will the town's responsibility be? I mean, is it up to us to like put the sewers and stuff in?
There is already water and sewer to that lot. Is that correct, Joe?
Correct.
To the end of Academy
Yes.
is
Which
one.
is, to be clear, one of the reasons that we think this lot will be attractive to developers is
Is
for
for that
exactly that reason. Because getting water and sewer lines to a piece of property is very cost prohibitive, and without that, many developers won't even consider developing a piece of land.
And from my understanding, Rose, way before us, the board that sat here in, the 50s, they decided, let's put water and sewer down their street for maybe in the future our people of Fairhaven can add to this area. And lo and behold, that's what we want to do. That's what we're looking to do.
They put it there because they thought Hubbard and Ford was gonna build a plant.
Oh, well, they didn't, but
But, yeah,
So what would the
Then they-
bond be for?
That was a hypothetical.
yeah.
Yeah, and so
And-
hypothetically, if we were to,
But
what would it be
before,
for?
Well,
I would imagine infrastructure costs. So a developer might say, here's the layout we want to build the houses in, and we need roads that connect this house to this house and branch off hither and thither. Ultimately, the town might take ownership of those roads, conceivably, and they might look to us as a partner in the project to contribute infrastructure. So that's one example.
and on that same line, before you start talking how much money, what money, we'll do like we normally do, whoever the board is at the time, and that is what's out there. You saw the governor and everyone came down with chips and what kind of help, what kind of aid for housing. You follow the news these days, you see there's quite a bit going on up in Montpelier talking about how can we help with grow housing in Vermont. So we'll look to tap in wherever you can to get help doing it. But at the end of the day, you do a cost benefit analysis on it, and you're going to say X number of houses of about this value means this much taxes, and that's what it does for our overall tax base in the town. And what are we willing to put in for water, sewer, not just roads. If you look at the RFP, we're saying sidewalks, curbing, do you want green space, a small playground, or something in that area as well. Right now, it's pretty much open. I'd like to think, I'm pretty sure too, what Joe's looking for is saying, let's first get someone to come in, get us an idea of some of the stuff we don't know. But long before something happens, there's going to be information meetings and people are going to have a chance to.
I just want to clarify one thing. And it's not just that this is a thing Joe wants to do. If anyone owned a piece of land, if any town owned a piece of land, as we do, they would need to put out an RFP like this first. It's the absolute first thing you have to do for any project like this.
Yeah. Keith,
to put it in terms for most people to understand, the way I think about this is we want to plant a seed. Let's see what grows. Do you understand that term? I'm not saying you don't, but that's the terminology I'm trying to put forth. Is we have this acreage of land. Let's plant a seed and see what grows.
I just didn't understand that the town actually owns the land now.
We do.
Are we going to
Yes.
sell it to the developers?
We don't know.
yet.
We have no
In
idea.
Theory, yes.
This
Yeah.
is what we need to do.
That's what the
This
We
is-
RFP
need a
is
plan.
about.
It would, in theory, it could be parceled off and sold to multiple developers, a single developer. We don't know.
And right now, we know what you know. We don't know.
John, you have
Plain
another
simple.
question.
Has any of this yet been put to the voters to see how, if the land should be developed or not? Because I know there are a lot of people that use it for walking, photography, wildlife spotting, and stuff like that. It would just seem to be kind of asinine to waste all this kind of money.
It's a very
Put it out and voters tell you pound sand on it, and now you're out $60,000-$70,000.
That's a very interesting point, Johnny. Can I respond to that?
I've taken photographs up there at night,
I
and I take astrophotography photos up there all the time.
I think our priority has been on building housing because that's not only a priority for the town, but it's a priority for Vermonters
They've
as a
been pretty
whole.
good at knocking them down too.
What?
we are good at that.
Yeah, you found those floor checks yet?
While you raised some very good points, we hadn't discussed it. I think our priority is building housing on this lot. But I would urge you, if you would like to see a question like that on the ballot, you could put a petition together to have that question asked of the voters. It's not a bad idea. But but personally, I think our priority remains building housing.
I personally, our job is to see if we can bring business, housing, and if we get to the point that we're gonna move forward and do something, there'll be information meetings, there'll be opportunity, there, but understand, I don't wanna leave it out like it's really, no, the real reason we're going through what we're doing here is we intend to go out and get additional housing so that we can have business and people can have places to live. Anyone who doesn't wanna do that, I'm definitely make it known, and you can use the process that you have, but understand, there aren't a whole lot of things we can do to help just the general affordability to live in Fairhaven and what we do with your tax base and grow. But, yes. What else? What other?
I got one thing. Well, I got a couple things, but if we don't have tax base, you don't have services. You don't have water, you don't have sewer, you don't have anything like that if people don't have good tax base in a township. Anywhere you go in the world, you'll die,
I agree with you.
okay?
I agree
So
with you.
why, let's work together here,
I've been
to
trying
get
work
this
with the board
going.
For 8 years now.
okay? Let's just stop the rumor control. Tell the truth on Facebook. Don't spread the rumors on Facebook. Don't spread the rumors in the stores and down the streets that every you see. Just tell the truth. And if you don't know the truth, find the truth out before you spread it. That's all I ask, okay? Help us help you. The tax base is very important, very important. If we don't have it, you can't do anything. You wouldn't even be able to pay DPW to plow the roads if we don't have tax base.
Oh, I agree with you.
I've heard with,
This is what I'm trying to say. Please.
You're kind of like a canary in the coal mine lately. You've been squawking a lot more than you ever have in the 8 years I've been watching the select board.
Well, I
You're
can't.
saying that we're getting narrow on the budget, we can't afford a blown light bulb next year. I know what you're saying, you're the canary in the coal mine.
okay, we're gonna move
I agree.
Chad. Chad, do you, anything you wanna add?
I mean, nothing that hasn't already been said, but I'll say it again. I like the RFP because it is going to provide us with 3 options for design concept. And it's going to give us some numbers that we can understand to learn how it will grow our tax base. And, you know, there may be costs associated with developing this land. And if those costs allow us to build a bigger tax base for Fairhaven, that has been, in my experience, the #1 complaint of everyone that I try to represent, right, is the idea of how can we make life more affordable? How can we keep property taxes down while at the same time, how can we pave Scotch Hill? How can we redo that sidewalk? How can we redo this sidewalk? How can we repair this or that? We can't do it all unless we have the money to do it. And the only way we can have the money to do it is expand our tax base. So we're looking at this property. We're looking at, and I don't want to change the subject, but we're looking at the 1% options tax because we need a sustainable way to grow our revenue without having the current tax base bear the burden of higher property taxes. So I am all for this RFP. I really want to see how we can develop this land and what it'll do for Fairhaven in the future. So I'm supportive of it.
Ditto.
And Joe, I'm gonna look at you for a minute to say, board members have looked at the RFP. Was your goal to have us give you input on spelling stuff out differently or whatever, or just, yes, it looks like what were you looking for from us?
A little bit of guidance on it. If the board is happy with what this says, I'll release it.
How soon, are you looking for an answer right now, Joe? Yeah. Okay, all right, sorry, I wasn't sure how much time we
See,
actually had.
the timing, the reason he's looking for an answer right now, the timing is that we need to get an RFP out so that we can get it out, so we can get people put requests in, so that they can give us the 3 design proposals before the end of the year. I mean, so when you look at, the longer it takes to decide what that RFP looks like, the longer it's gonna be before you can. I'm not saying you run fast and don't look where you're going, but I'm saying it takes a long time to get things done.
It looks legit and good to me, just scanning over it.
Would the board feel more comfortable if we bumped it out a week to get that final?
Next meeting, I think,
The 17th?
But then it leaves you less than a month by your March 13th deadline. It leaves you less
I
than
can
a
change
month.
we'll,
Well, what I would really like is the board to be comfortable with the RFP, because we don't want to get 3 designs and then the board say, well, that's not anything I wanted. And then it's gonna cost you more to get more designs. So we really want to get this nailed down to where you really get what you want.
if the board that's gonna be sitting here gets it back, and what you're looking for isn't what we asked them to show us, examples, what he's saying is, then tell him, he'll put it in here, and we'll get examples of what you're looking for.
See, this is,
Can I?
Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah.
okay, my idea is, this is a starting point. None of us know exactly. I don't think anybody out there knows exactly what it should look like. But we need tax base. So we need some guidance to get that tax base. We want something that'll work, it'll make a nice community, it'll raise the tax revenues in the town of Fairhaven, it'll give opportunity for people to buy homes in Fairhaven, which will bring more money into Fairhaven. Maybe another sandwich shop will open up, maybe another donut shop, maybe a nice restaurant uptown. That'll support, the people will support these things, if we have the people here. Doctors over to Rutland Hospital have trouble finding homes to move to this town to take a job. That's happening all the time. Happens in Burlington, it happens in Rutland. We gotta start somewhere, and this would be a good starting point. We can look over what they give us, and we wanna make some changes. We'll sit down with the public, there'll be some public meetings. We'll sit down with the engineering firm, hash it out. Get something that really works nice for us all. That's my idea.
And I just have a question with this. Sorry, Sam. You said possibly hold this out, but with the elections coming up, will this affect, because what if some of us are, well, what if we are not here and our vote is irrelevant then, you know what I'm saying? Will that affect what you were looking for out of this?
You're the board I'm working with.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
no,
it's a-
I just want, I'm
It's
just
it's
trying to
before the election, so it's.
dot my i's and cross my t's, that's all I'm looking to do.
It's one where, let me make him explain it, the way I understand it. 2 people are running unopposed. I'm not, you're only gonna have one different person than what's sitting here.
All right, I
That's why
wasn't
I'm
sure.
that's why I'm trying to sit back and not jump too much, because you're the ones that are gonna, again, if you see something, what I would suggest, timing wise, if you wanna make a decision at our next meeting, if you see some changes, I've already gone through and sent Joe what I wanted tweaked, and it's already in here. Give it to Joe so he can put them together, so you're coming into close to a finished document. Don't wait to try to do it all in your next meeting. That'll help your timing wise.
I also had the opportunity to look at this before the meeting. It is fairly boilerplate. So I find very little that is an urgent need of change with this document before it can be published personally. So if we decide to wait 2 weeks, that's fine. If we decide to publish it as soon as possible, I'm fine with that as well. there are design considerations that are not mentioned in this document that I would imagine I am in the minority on, as far as preferences that I would like to see or possibilities that I would like to see included. I am not inclined to push for those things to be included in this RFP against the wishes of the other members of this board and perhaps against the wishes of the members of the community, unless someone came forward and expressed their perspective that they see those things included. No one has. So for those reasons, I'm fine with this document as it is.
I trust your judgment. I trust Glenn's, because you guys have seen it. This is the first time I've seen it. I trust you guys' judgment. So if you guys are good with it, I'm good with it. So you have my vote.
In my opinion, I think it's a very good starting point.
Yeah.
And we have to start somewhere. Can things be tweaked down the road? I'm sure of it. You know, but at least we'll have something to work with,
It's the seed.
something to show the people. I mean, I've read this thing 4 times and
So let me see if I can summarize that, because there's 2 things. I think we're leaning towards, because it does look like it's pretty standard, and it gets you at least started. Now, it doesn't tell you that you're not buying into anything in the end, and I wanna do that, and I also wanna address, when Sam, when he's talking about some of the housing, he said, for this particular site, I'm not in support of what Sam calls affordable. I have a different definition of affordable. Doesn't mean I don't support having, I call it low-income housing. And because I still think we have some other opportunities, I just don't think up at the racetrack is the place for that. That's all. And there's a lot of things I'd want to consider when I do that. That's all.
I also want to clarify, that was not one of my suggestions.
Okay.
With what I know, which is a little about the development of affordable housing, I don't believe that an affordable housing project would be likely to be funded at that location. And that is a major consideration for those projects, because so much of the funding has so many strings attached and requires so many hoops to be jumped through with different state and federal agencies, that there are things that they look to see in a piece of land before developing it toward that end, which I believe are absent on this piece of property, and make it unlikely that affordable housing could happen there. However, I like to leave the door open to possibilities and to changing priorities at the state and federal level. And so toward that end and other ends, because there are again design considerations that I might personally like to see included in our suggestions that are not. Nothing that has been suggested by anyone in the community to me, just my personal preferences. I don't feel the need to include them. However, we could include language in the document that specifies, for developers interested in submitting a proposal, we are open to possibilities outside of what is explicitly stated in the RFP. The advantage of doing that is twofold. One is we leave the door open to outside the box thinking. The other is a potential developer will see that we are flexible enough that we can make a pro forma work for them. That they need a certain amount of flexibility, because costs of goods and labor and everything can change so rapidly, and these developments, these projects, so very rarely follow a straight line, that we need a certain amount of flexibility. And I would like to see that reflected in some way in the RFP, even if in some small way. And there might be language that I've overlooked that kind of nods towards that, but
So did I just talk you out of the, because I was looking for a motion to, it looked like you turned 360 and went back the other way on me.
It need not even necessarily be included in the RFP if the philosophy that I just described is shared amongst those stakeholders involved, which in this case is us, is Joe. Yep. Just a general understanding that we need to keep an open mind to what.
And because I mean, I only want to add that it says, what you described is absolutely spot on for if we want state aid. I'm not so sure we couldn't pencil the thing out without state aid and be further ahead of the game. My experience of state aid was a salt shed that we could never get and put back in. So I don't have a lot of warm fuzzy feelings about state aid.
I'm based on your response, I'm not sure that you're responding directly to something I said. It doesn't sound like.
What I'm responding to is I was ready, I'm ready for calling the question
If you
on
wanna-
moving forward on this RFP.
you wanna-
And I will accept a motion to move forward on this.
I make a motion, we move forward with this one as a starting point.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any other discussion?
Yes.
Okay?
I'll just add, I think there is, and I interpret it as being somewhat flexible in the design scenarios, right? Recommending a mix of housing types. So I think there is some,
Yeah.
I look
The
at that
wiggle
as
room is already
flexible.
there.
And I do want to be flexible.
I'm just making the point.
And the other thing is, I didn't want to force it, because I won't be sitting here when you get to look at the final end. But I'm just, so we have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Go put our RFP out. Okay, 2 minutes for public comment. Rose?
So, one, I would really prefer that we not send this RFP to DNK,
To what?
To who?
Du Bois and King. In my experience, I don't feel that they are the best firm to do the work that we need done. Two, the less we deal with the state would be better, because I'm so tired of having to kiss the state's butt. I think we can get much better, I think we can do much better ourselves than to have to kiss the state's butt. I just wanted to point out that I will be voting for the 1% option tax. I have not been able to think of anything else that we can do as a town that could bring us any more revenue. I don't see anything else out there. I know there's a lot of opposition out there. I would love to hear, I would really love to hear if anybody has some other ideas. I don't. And we need the money. I've always been a big proponent of larger businesses, bringing larger businesses into the town to shore up our tax base. But our state has pretty much made that almost impossible. Look at what happened with Beaverwood. They were all set to come in. What was it, 150 jobs? Well-paying jobs for the people here in Fairhaven.
Yep.
And the state screwed it up for us.
And we're
So-
getting close to your 2 minutes, so.
So, all I'm saying is, this would equal, if even on the conservative side, if we brought in $250,000, that's equal to 10 larger companies coming in as our tax base. But I would really, if anybody else has any better ideas out there, I hate new taxes, I hate any taxes. But I don't see a better option.
Thank you. Any other 2 minutes for public comment? Moving on to parking lot. Anything on parking lot?
We did discuss last meeting the potential for a sidewalk ordinance, which since that time I did a little bit of research. We're not going to get too deep into the weeds right now, but I did want to note that we do have a sidewalk policy on file, which I don't believe I was aware of. I don't remember it being mentioned at that meeting. And the sidewalk policy, while not enforceable through any kind of penalty, does specify what property owners are intended to do with snow on their portions of sidewalk abutting their property. So we might want to give that some more teeth by adding it to an ordinance. But I thought it worth mentioning, and I wanted to mention it to you specifically, Rosie.
Thank you.
Good. Anything else under parking lot? Board roundtable. Sam?
There were some requests on our sort of Facebook group of record for individuals running for office to post bios and sort of a statement of purpose. Our former board member, Mr. Doran, was one of the individuals asking for that, and I think it's not a bad idea. But to Joe's point, it sounds like we're going to try and schedule a what did you say? A candidate meeting? A candidate?
I call it meet the candidates night.
Candidate.
Which is during the day.
Cool. Yeah, regrettably, I wasn't aware we were aiming for that. I'm glad we are, because I did want to discuss that possibility tonight. So thank you for taking the initiative on that, Joe. I hope we can pick a date where I can be there, but I unfortunately won't be able to be there on that date that we discussed earlier.
The library may not be able to might have something else too on that date because it is Valentine's Day, but Joan, we'll see. Good. Keith, what do you have?
Well, I honestly don't have Facebook, but I've heard, and my wife does, and I've read some comments that are kind of disturbing, because all I hear from what Rich, also said is rumors. Why local option tax? Why this? Why that? I used to be one of those ones that would sit on the outside looking in at this board, and I had questions, Well, until you sit on this board and realize how hard it is to do this job, and you don't have how do I want to word it? If you're going to complain, have a answer or have a good idea before you just sit here and berate us and belittle us. So I took the time today, printed off in big bold letters, the local option tax, why it's important, and every town in Vermont that has it. And seeing how some of the people that are not here, that complained about this, are not here, a lot of the towns in here that are local to us: Brandon, City of Rutland, Middlebury, Rutland Town. You all shop there. You all don't notice it. Well, you won't notice it in Fairhaven neither, with 1%. Breaks it down right off the top. 6% plus 1%, 7%. Easy math. 9% meals, add 1, 10%. You don't even notice it when you're sliding your debit card or handing your cash over the counter. Please, please vote. If you don't want your taxes to go up, this is very important for the town of Fairhaven and us as taxpayers and us in this town. This is important. It will help, not us, but it'll help the infrastructure in this town over and over and over again. And before you spread rumors, please do your homework. Please. Thank you.
Rich, anything?
Well, I was gonna say that. Me said it before I did.
Sorry, Rich.
No, that's okay. I'm glad you said it. Listen, the way I feel, spread the truth. Don't spread the lies. If, come get the facts, get on your computer and get the facts. Do whatever. Don't say, well, I don't wanna pay it here, I'll just drive to Rutland while you drive to Rutland. Okay, you're gonna do 2% over there, so go ahead and drive over there. Waste your gas. Have your own taxes go up because you were crazy and did that. Come on, guys, just think a little bit, please. Think about it, think about it, think about it. I can't, without getting really mad, I can't say it any other way. Just please think about it. You know, we can't have everybody, the older folks, the retired folks on fixed incomes, forcing them out of their homes to raise their taxes 10, 12, 15, 20% a year when we can get a help from everybody passing through town. It's not gonna hurt anybody. They're paying it everywhere they go. Why not help us? Help us.
Chad?
I think this brings up a really important point, and it speaks to some other issues that we're seeing within our local governing, and that is participation. I would encourage folks to participate in committees. Showed up to an economic development meeting today, and we need more members. So I was here extra early for this meeting. We need more members on our committees. The committees help drive the work that is done in town that this body cannot possibly do on its own. Participate by running for office. Participate by attending these meetings. 4 people. This is a great turnout, right? It's 4 people. We should be filling this room every other Tuesday with folks learning about what we're doing, and that'll help with some of the misinformation or the knowledge pieces that are online. But participate, engage. I think if you asked us, we won't stop talking about all the things that we're doing here and that are really cool, but we don't see that engagement all too often. So engage. Yeah, that's all I have.
I haven't anything, so let's move to review of financial reports.
Make a motion to approve the payroll warrant of $38,922.75.
Do I have a second?
That.
Rich seconds that. All those in favor?
Aye. I'll make a motion to approve the general warrant of $141,785.33.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Sam seconds that. All those in favor? Aye.
And our checking account sits at $502,493.25.
In the positive for the first time in the positive. So we got the check.
Perfect.
Very good. We do have an executive session. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session for contract negotiation.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session for contract negotiations under 1 VSA 313A1.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Rich. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.